I was 20 years old when I started with the Porter Wagoner Show. Porter had the #1 country syndicated television show at that time. I mean, I was making no money, and he said, well, I can pay you $60,000 a year. And I thought that was more money than I had ever heard of. But the unfortunate thing is, it never changed. Even after I got to be a star on the show, because I was writing songs, and so the more popular I got, the more popular the show got, and we got, and we
But then your salary didn't
fought
change.
a lot, but I kept saying, you know, don't you think I need a raise?
Was it hard to get the courage to say that?
Oh, yeah, it was
to your
hard.
boss at the time?
I cried a lot, and he was very strong-willed. But I pretended like I was talking to one of my uncles or one of my brothers and saying, you're not pushing me around.
Right, yeah.
I'm a songwriter, and I ain't a girl singer forever. I was out to be a solo artist, and I still want to have my own band. I want to have my own show. I want to have my own life. I don't want to just be the girl singer in somebody else's group. And that's when I wrote I Will Always Love You. So I went back the next morning, and I said, sit down, I have something I want to play for you.
If I should stay, well, I would only be in your way. So I'll go.
So I sang I Will Always Love You, and Porter was crying. He said, that's the best song you ever wrote. Okay, you can go. But I have to produce the song, and so it was a couple of years later. But it was all right, because that's how you learn to maneuver. I am first and foremost a songwriter. I've been writing since I was 7, serious songs. Loving my family and writing about those days keeps me sane in an insane world. And anytime I get homesick or lonesome, when I'm out on tour or in other countries, I can just get my guitar and sing about home, and it just takes me back there. My daddy always said, now try to keep as much of your own stuff as you can. So as soon as I could, I started my own publishing company. Years later, Elvis was recording here, and I knew the people that were producing him. So they called me 2 or 3 weeks before and said, Elvis is recording. You want to come down and meet him? Because he's going to record I Will Always Love You. And I thought, oh, my God. And I told everybody, you know, and I was so excited. And I was going to go to the session and meet Elvis and all that. And then just like a day before, I got a call, and he was saying, now, you know, we don't record anything with Elvis unless he has the publishing. And I said,
now, hold on.
I said, well, I can't do that. I said, because I've already had a #1 song on it, and it's my most important copyright.
Right.
And he said, well, then we can't record it. And I cried all night. I was so upset about it. But I thought, you know, I can't do it. I can't even do it for Elvis. Priscilla told me later he was very disappointed, and she told me how much he loved the song. When they divorced, that when they were leaving the courthouse, she told me that he was singing that song in her ear.
Oh, it's a good thing that you maintain the rights to I Will Always Love You, because then what happened?
When the Bodyguard movie came out, Kevin Costner sent word, you know, can you send us that song? Because they were looking for the perfect love song. So I sent it out, totally forgot all about it. And then I was driving home, and all of a sudden I hear this sound on the radio. It was like how she started that a cappella, like, if I should stay. I thought my heart was going to bust. I had to pull over, lest I should wreck. It was the most overwhelming feeling I've ever had.
And that was Whitney Houston singing your song.
And it was Whitney. She took it to so many levels to think that my little song, my little heartfelt, heartbreaking song, could be that big. I felt like that I had arrived as a writer.
But you look at it, and over time, like, that's, of course, that was such a savvy thing to do, but I do think, I'm sure you've had through your career many times where people said, no, I just think maybe I'll try and, she's not as smart as she thinks she is, that's always been such an inspiration to me, because I always thought, no matter where you come from, it's inside of you.
Yeah, well, I got that strength from my dad. My dad was a hard worker. My dad was not educated at all. My daddy couldn't even read and write, but he was so smart. You've got to not just trust everybody. You can trust them to a degree, but you got to keep that thing like inside you that says, that don't feel right to me. That's not how that should be.
Label people or, you know, radio people will say, well, our listeners, they just, you know, they don't want to hear women. You know, they want to hear more men. It's like, well, who are you polling?
Right.
I don't really believe that. I think there should be room for everybody, and everyone should be given a chance, especially because there's like a crop of people that are coming up that actually have something to say, and they're not just big hair and a pretty face, which is fine. I'm just saying.
It's about substance. It's not just about, like, the aesthetics.
Yeah. That doesn't really like affect my creativity or whatever. I just kind of try to stay in my own lane, but it is there. and it's very much a real thing. So
And then you just push forward. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
What would Dolly do?
She'd hold up a rhinestone middle finger and just be like, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it. You wrote a song called Stupid Girls.
Yes, I remember. I got that note. I was like,
And I wrote you a note because the most popular TV shows at the time were all a bunch of girls. I don't know if they were pretending or they really were stupid.
Yep.
But it was this cultural thing at that time, like, to be stupid. And I remember thinking, did my grandmother really fight for our rights so that they could marginalize women and say that we're too stupid to run for office, we're too stupid to vote? And when you wrote that song, it was like a siren call for me. And I remember writing you, like, with tears in my eyes about my daughter.
I do remember that, and I didn't have a child, so my perspective was completely different at that point. I wasn't even thinking really for the future. I was thinking for myself as a girl, like, is this it?
Yeah.
I'm the scary one?
Yeah. Can I say, you start to discover and so appreciate, this is gonna make me teary, but when women like you write a song, that's why I write out to you, because my daughter listens more to you than she does to me. Well, that's why I decided to, like, do this show too, because I think it's the women that we see who are prominent in our daughters' lives, that they're gonna be more important in certain ways.
I'm learning too that she'll listen to others, and so being surrounded by so many different kinds of women that are all passionate about what they do and unapologetic about who they are, that's my greatest gift for her.
Absolutely.
There was a mom that Twittered me after the VMAs, and she said, I just wanted to share with you, if you see this, my daughter is 9, I think she's 8 or 9. We shop in the boys section at Target, and she's been bullied terribly this year. She was thinking maybe it was time to start putting on makeup and trying to be like the other girls. And she said, it's breaking my heart. And then we saw your speech. Recently, I was driving my daughter to school, and she said to me, I'm the ugliest girl I know. I look like a boy with long hair. I said, when people make fun of me, that's what they use. They say that I look like a boy or my body is too strong. And I said to her, I said, do you see me growing my hair? She said, no, Mama. I said, do you see me changing my body? No, Mama. Do you see me selling out arenas all over the world? Yes, Mama. Okay. And after your speech, we're back where we belong in Target, in the boys section, getting the clothes that are comfortable for her so she can do her sports.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm just like, oh, that's the stuff that is important. That's the stuff that feels good.
Do you think our daughters will grow up in a world where the standards of beauty are truly changed? Not just lip service, but like truly we accept all ideas of beauty?
I think so. I do. I think that there's always going to be two sides. And she's always going to be around the I don't know, the OG idea of beautiful. That type of girl and the type of guy or girl that appreciates that. But I think there's so much else now. And I think it's a rad time because you see more professional girl skateboarders, more professional girl surfboarders, more professional girls are getting into motocross. And I think the movement now is going to take it even further.
Well, I think in great part to people like you who are artists who are so outspoken about it and constantly pushing the edge of what is the social norm and why do you have to conform and why do you have to have a body that only 1% of the population has? Why do you have to look? Why does your hair have to be this way? And let's celebrate the people who actually don't belong, you know?
Yeah, and I think that there's not one type of beautiful.
When I wore that little coat to school, kids would just say, that ain't nothing but rags. That ain't nothing but scraps. And, you know, that's just a ragged old coat. And it's even faded and it's not even new cloth. It broke my heart that they were actually making fun of me. But maybe God had his hand in that because now I'm able to be in a position where I can help other people and certainly my family.
My coat of many colors that my mama made for me, made only from rags that I wore it so proudly. And although we had no money, I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors mama made for me, made just for me.
My nails are a little long for this, but it's so pretty.
That's so magical. I'm
You
gonna
want to
cry.
hold it? You want to hold it?
Yes.
Okay, pick it.
No, I don't know if I can. I can't do it. Follow Your Arrow was one of my favorite songs.
Oh, thanks.
It was like one of the first times I heard a country song that talked about things like smoking weed or alternative lifestyles. Like, it's okay to be gay.
Right.
Did you get, like, pushback from anybody on that? Or was it hard with country radio?
It was, yeah, it was very hard. I had the idea saved for a while, and I even went to write with Katy Perry for her own album, not even for me. And I brought her the idea, and I was like, look, I have this idea. It's called Follow Your Arrow. I just think it could be so cool. And I sang like this little piece that I had to work out the chorus, basically. And she was like, dude, I love that, but it honestly sounds like something that you should say. You should save it for yourself.
Right.
So I'm really glad she said that, and I was like, okay. So I saved it, and I went back to Nashville, and ended up finishing it with two of my really good friends, Shane McAnally and Brandy Clark. I just loved it so much, and it's kind of an unintentional anthem. I had to go into the label and be like, hey, I wrote this song last minute, and here it is. I want to put this on this album, and I'm really excited about it. Like, what do you think? And they were like, well, you know, probably people are gonna hate it. Like, you're gonna go down kind of in flames in the country world. And I was like, look, I'm fine with that. You know, this is something I want to say, and there's like all kinds of country people out there, you know? I mean, like, there's not just a certain group of people like that, you know, we need to be singing about or singing to. I mean, it's everybody. And I think about, like, you know, the kids that I grew up with, or, you know, these like little kids in these, you know, small towns that are just coming to terms with all that and are like freaked the hell out because they don't know how to tell their parents or like whatever.
Well, and they've never heard a mainstream person say that's okay.
Especially in that genre. I mean, I can probably count on one hand the number of times that I met someone who I knew was gay, like, growing up.
We didn't talk about it growing up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't like my family was shut down about it, but it was just nobody talked about it, which is another form of being shut down about it.
It's always made me feel a little bit guilty that even in high school, I wouldn't say that I, like, ever, me, myself, like, made fun of, like, someone that was gay. I can just think of this one guy in particular. I didn't, like, stand up for him when everyone was making fun of him. And I mean, I kind of, like, laughed too. But I truly learned from my mistakes and, like, who I was. And I got, like, really proud, like, loud and proud about, like just trying to set my own record straight, you know?
I love that. You know what? All you can do is say, like, I made a mistake. I'm a human being. And, like, I learned.
If you go back to the roots of country music and look at Willie Nelson or Hank Williams or Jimmy Rogers or whatever, they were singing about real shit. That, you know, divorce and heartbreak and
Johnny Cash sang at Folsom Prison.
Exactly.
I mean, he was singing about outlaws.
I mean, country music is supposed to be for real people, and so I just had to feel like I had to kind of just remind everybody about that and be like, I'm just doing my job as a songwriter by taking these things that really inspire me and injecting them into my songs, and you can like it or you don't like it. You can follow your arrow or not. I don't know.
It's so great, and just sort of blew open a bigger conversation about what is country music and what is modern country. And
exactly.
Although I saw somebody tweeted you something so mean the other day.
So mean.
Hold on, I have to read this tweet because it is so mean. I'm not going to say what her name was because she doesn't deserve to have her name read. And she said, you're one of the reasons true country is sinking into the cesspool of immorality and stomach-turning fake entertainment. You've got to perform half naked to make up for your lack of God-given talent. And what she wrote was,
I corrected her grammar.
You wrote, it's your, with an apostrophe R-E.
That's all you can say to somebody like that.
But then also I was seeing this really beautiful interview that you gave about how you looked out in the audience and you were singing Follow Your Arrow, and two men were hugging themselves, and you were like,
yes.
I'm part of them feeling okay.
They can feel safe at my shows, and I love that so much.
That's incredible. I see these young girls, and they're 9 and 10 and 11, and going, I'm going to start a club, and I'm going to be president of the United States of America. And then something happens from 12 to 16, and I honestly have no idea what it is, where they become so conscious of other people's feelings of them and what they're supposed to be and what they're not supposed to be. I said to Ava one day, she was reading something on her Instagram, and she said, and they said this and that about me. I was like, yeah, but, you know, who cares? I mean, you can't care about their feelings. She goes, Mom, I'm a teenager. All we do is care about how other people feel about our feelings.
True.
And I was like, that's so true. How can I tell you to be something you're not? You got to go through those feelings to come out the other side.
Oh, I'm going to have no idea what to say. I'm going to have no idea what to say, just like my mom had no idea what to say to me.
When I wrote you that letter about stupid girls, I thought you would think I was one of those stupid girls, and I was, like, scared to write
kidding?
to you. And
I read the letter, I was like, who am I right now? Reese Witherspoon just wrote me a letter, and told me I was doing some good in the world. I was like, cool, I can die now.
I thought, God, she's so brave. She just comes out with it. And I had
do
all
it,
these like
but
private secret feelings like, ugh, I hate all these girls pretending they're be stupid just to make good television. It drove me bonkers. But I would never say it publicly. And I was like, she said it.
Yeah.
And then she did a whole video about it.
Well, I get a lot of flack. And I'm also, because of that, if you have an opinion and you're willing to share it, you are immediately polarizing. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've been told to shut up, sit down, sweetheart, and sing.
Wow.
And I've fought back to that as well. You know, I pay taxes.
Yeah.
I'm engaged in the world. I'm educated about what's going on in the world. I'm a woman. I care. I'm a mother. I have children. Why should I not have an opinion?
It's been frightening for a lot of women to say anything controversial. And that's silence that is not helpful.